Hello, just before this video gets started, I just want to put the names of my Patreon supporters on screen now, just to say thank you for your continued support in the Demis Hellen channel. Hello and welcome to another Demis Hellen tutorial. We are going to take a look at layering some extra bass elements into this already existing bass setup for this track. So as you can see, everything in orange is the bass, so let's just take a few moments to have a listen to what's going on, and then we'll add some bits in. Okay, and I'm just going to skip it to the riser here. Okay, so let's just take a look to appreciate what is happening first before we start thinking about what to add in. So we start with a bass support layer, which is just bandpassed on an Pro Q3, just to give it that section. And I've just done a bit of sound design through Spire, just to use the shaper tool here to really kind of grind the sound to exactly how I want it and mold it. And that comes from my pack there, which is out my classic Trance pack. Trying to get that released as soon as possible, so just keep your ears peeled for that. And then that is followed by a metallic bass. So there's two metallic bass, one from Spire and one from Massive, I think. So this is Metal 1. Okay, so you can see that I have used a analog/electric oscillator and used drive 3. I've used the bend plus and minus mode, and then just change the intensity that shapes the sound. If I just give you an idea, you get a different variety of sounds there. So I'll just get it back to where it was. Okay, and then we've used a filter here, a low pass 2 with an envelope attached to it, envelope 2, to give a nice spiky, plucky sort of bass, and also use that attached to the filter so we can filter it in, obviously. And then the other thing, to really get it popping, I've used this envelope here attached to the pitch, and that is changing the pitch from basically 0 up to 64 every time that bass note hits, to give you that spiky texture. And if I just slow the decay down, you'll see what's happening. So you can see it's pitching it and then cutting off. And the faster you go, you get that really weird plucky texture. And when we can enhance this, make it really spiky. Okay, and we'll leave it about there. And the reason that I don't want it as full up, as in volume wise for the spikes, is it starts to sound quite boxy when you start listening to it on other systems. So we just want it tamed down, but just enough to give it some spike. And then that's obviously going through some processing through, I think it's going through Molot, obviously, to give it some really hard spiky textures, just to enhance everything. Okay, and then we go to Metal Bass 2. A little bit softer, it's got a bit more of a squelchy sound. Again, this is coming from Spire out of one of my packs, and this one's coming from my Transpire pack. So if you haven't got that already, link is on screen now. If you head over to my website, there'll be a code on there to get a discount as well. So using that, and then I've just crafted it to the point where I've got it less spiky, because this was giving off a really bad texture, as you can hear. So I wanted to keep it tamed down. And then coupled up with the first metal bass, you get a really nice, weird, interlocking texture. So that is all good. And then we have a sub bass. and that is coming from Retrolog 2. If you want to get hold of that preset, visit the video that's on screen now where I made some of these presets on Retrolog 2, and you can get them for free as well through the link on that video. So that's really just playing a part to add a little bit of subbiness to it. So all in all, we have everything together sounding like this. Okay, and we do have this bandpass bass here as well. So nothing exciting. It's in. Oh, this one's massive, and I've just used the acid filter here, and as you can see, envelope 4 is just shaping how that reacts every time it's pressed. So it just gives you a little bit of movement, shall we say? And then we do have this big riser. This is preset. So if we just quickly look at that, this is coming from Dext. So I haven't done a review on Dext yet. Let me know in the comments if you want to see a review for this. But I've just used the preset Analog 1, and it sounded pretty good straight off the mark. And it does this. I thought it had a nice little touch, and I've just put some delay on there to kind of keep it going into the track and make it seamless. So we have all the elements here. The only difference is it fades in at this point, so we go from this. I haven't set these into groups yet, so I'll just solo all these basses individually. So it just filters in just to give it a harder edge. And I just want to point out, it's not part of the bass, but I'm using a percussive loop, which is in the key of G, because all the basses are in G. I've used a percussive loop here, which goes like that. And then obviously all together with the bass. And if we actually take that away, you lose a lot of the lower end. So as long as the percussive loop is in the key of G, and I can show you how to do that, you can download a simple plugin for this. So I'm just on the mixer on the other page, just give me 2 seconds. It's called G-Tune, and it looks like this. There's a load of different plugins that you can get, but you put this onto the same thing, and it'll tell you what key that sound is in. If I maybe, let's just get this. So that's telling me that's in the key of B, that one. And that one, I think I used a different thing because it didn't pick it up, as you can see here. So it's not perfect, but it's a good thing to, you go, oh, that's in B, and then you know how many semitones to pitch it down to G if you needed to. Okay, so that is the start of the bass covered. Now we want to add some extra elements in there. And you're probably thinking, well, what would you want to add? And I want to obviously put some accents on things. Now I'm thinking on this rhythm here, these top notes, is these two on each bar need to be more prominent, shall we say. So we're going to stick to using Spire. Shall we use? Yeah, because I like the delay in Spire better. Alright, so we're going to initiate the patch. And we're going to find it. We're going to drag it up here. Put it with the rest of the basses. Keep everything colour coordinated and named. Okay, so let's just get rid of everything. Keep deleting the wrong one. Okay, so let's just get both of these going. Okay, let's pick a square for this one. I'm going to pick the acid. And we're going to shape this with, let's pick Robo Bass. Well, pick one number 2 first. Okay, let's just mix a bit of saw in there. Okay, and then we're just going to put this through here, and I'm going to choose hard clipping. Then we're going to put a bit of modulation on here, wide on the delay. Okay, so I'm just going to pick something that sounds a bit better than that. Okay, I'm just going to see what reverb sounds. So what I'm doing here is filtering out the bass. Just going to keep it a little bit narrower as well. We don't want it too wide. Okay, so we've got the sound there. Then I'm going to put the shaper on. Let's just see. I'm going to filter it between the 2 filters here. Okay, we have our sound. Just going to shorten the initial sound. I kind of like the pitch bending down there, that sounds good. So let's just see what it sounds like in context. Okay, so I'm happy with the texture. It's just the timbre now, which is basically the tone of it. So I'm just going to change some of these. Okay, there we are. Okay, and what we're going to do now on this track is put a band pass on. So we'll use Pro Q3 to demonstrate this. So I'm just going to make a node, and I'm going to change it to band pass. Steepen the sides a bit. Just try to narrow down the essential part. I'm going to put another one in here and kind of bring up the peak. And we can drag these both together. I'm just looking for the sweet spot now. Okay, so we're straying too far away from where I want to be. Okay, so we've band past that. I'm just going to see if OTT will do us any favours on this particular sound. Okay, I'm not liking that, so we'll just remove that. Okay, so we've got something there. Okay, it might be the bit crushing that's throwing me off here, because we've got the there sample rate. Let's just set this to warm again. Hey, maybe even that. That sounds better. It's a little bit too... Let's just get to the squelchy part. There we are. So it's just starting to glide on the resonance pitch there. Okay, so we've accentuated that, so let's just have a listen to it at this point. Okay, it officially has its place. We're going to colour that orange, and we'll call this Acid 1. So we know it's bass because it's orange, and we'll just call it Acid 1. Makes everything a little bit easier to understand. And I will clump, in fact, we'll do it now. All the main basses, that's already right. They all stay together, so we've got the main 3 elements, and then the supporting sections all above. So I just want to raise the volume of this one. So we've got lots of headroom here, so I'm just going to boost it 2 dB on that channel. So bearing in mind all these basses are going to go through a bus, and then they're all going to be processed to kind of mush them all together a bit nicer, so they won't sound as separated. So that's usually how I do it anyway. Okay, that's going to have to follow the bass line there. So that should do. Okay, so that fits successfully into the mix. I don't really want to add too much into it, but I think what we can do is just add one more sound, and we'll see if we can pluck out a preset here. So Spire, I'm going to go to Transpire here, and I'm going to pick a synth. It's got a bit of character, but too much. Okay, if we just cut the bass out. All right. So we're going to shape this, and I'm just going to add some little details in here. In fact, that sounds... Let's just try that on a loop there. So there's a bit too much reverb, and it might not be the preset for it, but let's have a listen. That sounds quite nice. So it sounds really weird on its own. Okay, so we're just going to balance it on the mixer, and let's just start with a little bit of our EQ. What we're trying to achieve here is textures that complement all the other textures. Okay, and we're just going to jump into this preset and remove just a bit of top end on there, so it brings out some detail once it's all like kind of gelled together. See what we can do with the shaping. Okay, I'm just going to increase the feedback. Okay. So as you can see as well, the EQ on Spire doesn't remove everything. Look how the delay makes that wobble. It's got really, it's like it's shaking. Right, so let's have a listen. So it's not there to serve a purpose for rhythm, it is just accentuating different sections of the rhythm. So as you know, this one here, if we just solo these two, we've got it, and then they sort of overlap. And we do have the option to offset them with a bit of swing. So it's a little bit too obvious there, so we're not going to do that. Just a little secret on the melody hook here, we've got some swing. But everything else is straight. So it just gives a bit of humanisation and a little bit more character. So that is sounding pretty good there. I'm just concerned. I might just actually that's pretty good. So if you haven't used the dynamic EQ on Pro Q3, or you don't know how to use it, head over to my dynamic EQ tutorial. That's just on screen, and that will guide you through that. What I'm basically doing is just compressing that frequency, boosting it, but it's compressing it a little bit when it detects that frequency. So it just keeps it under control. So I'm just going to bring the volume down on my mixer. And we've got another family member to the bass. I think we'll leave it there. So we'll call that, what do we call the first one? Acid 1. So we'll call it Acid 2 because it has got that kind of acidic sound. Alright, so if this tutorial did help you on layering basses, just how to add different elements in, drop a like and also drop some comments. Let me know what you thought. If you've got any questions on the videos, anything that I didn't address that you didn't understand, let me know. And also hit subscribe and the bell icon, because if you don't hit the bell icon, you don't see when I upload. Just simply subscribing doesn't show you anymore in the feeds that I've uploaded. So if you hit the bell icon, and then it'll tell you all or some. So if you really want to learn a lot more, click all. If not, just hit the bell icon. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.